Hey, Tony Gasson here, popping in with another episode of Talks with Tony. Now, I went past a couple of the letters because they were like, just thanks and stuff like that, testimonials, which I appreciate it, but just for the sake of I only get to shoot so many X amount of videos, and I miss a couple days here. So trying to make up for lost time. So thank you so much for your emails. We got a lot to go through. So I got a good amount of, emails left. That's why I'm not giving out the email address. And now today, March 7th. So be mindful. My birthday on March 8th. And because I'm turning 38, remember the coupon code. Now listen, if you go to the website and you don't put in the coupon code, that means you don't need the code. So don't not put it in, then write in talking about or refund you and refund the difference and all that. No, just chalk that on up and just tell God thank you that you so blessed you forgot to put in the code. And now if you put in the code and you forget to hit apply, again, that means you extremely blessed. You got to change your mindset now. Because listen, what you have to realize when you're a payment processor, if you have to be sending a bunch of refunds, it says to the payment processor that you run a high risk business. So we can't be issuing refunds for human error. Now, if it was something we did, that's totally different. We deserve that bad mark. It's like a credit score. So if I got to be giving refunds, that's mean I'm selling either fake stuff or I'm selling stuff that ain't what I said it was. But when you make a human mistake, that's a part of life. That's a life lesson. Say, okay, I need to slow down. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. If I don't see it on my phone, I need to get on my computer. If I'm on my phone, I need to scroll around a little bit more. Y'all got to understand, it's like people be trying to help and give a coupon code, but then y'all heard black business. And you already know it ain't a lot of us out here. And then when you write in, where my refund at? Give me my refund. Cause I forgot to put the code in. Send me a refund. Like, hold on now. Okay, who fault is that? It's your fault. Start rushing. Like, come on now. Then one lady, we had to refund the lady. Another lady wrote in, she said, Tony, I forgot to put the code in. I done did this so many times, but I heard what you said on your video, which basically you were saying, that's your fault. She was like, so I ain't asked for no and I said, okay, I said, because of your spirit and how you came in not demanding. One lady wrote in talking about she deserved the 38 or she got a right. No, you don't. That's a gift. That's a bonus. That ain't nothing guaranteed. That's a bonus. So the code is BIG 38, the number 3, the number 8, BIG 38, no spaces, no capital. So when you get your next course on TonyGassonAcademy.com, and see, I'm sponsoring myself. See, y'all see, I ain't got no sponsor from a video. I'm sponsoring myself. Video sponsored by me, not literally. So all right, now let's get on into this here letter. Now this one, I skipped over 2 testimonials, and then this letter is super long. And she put a picture with it, which is good because she is a Caucasian lady, so that's diversity. Okay, it ain't just black folks that watch these videos. Now she might date brothers now, based on that fingernail. Hi, Tony. This might be a bit long, but just need to provide you with all the details. I am 30-year-old single mom of a 4-year-old. I found Christ last year and have really turned my life around. I was living in the world and struggled my entire life with relationships. I feel like I am now in a season of preparation and feel reborn, learning about godly relationships. Unfortunately, I have a dark and tumultuous past, but it is also part of my testimony and makes my relationship in Christ so much stronger. I am Cuban. All right, she Cuban. Okay, look like white woman, but it's all colors over there in different islands. I am Cuban. I came to this country when I was 9 and come from a really chaotic divorced family. I grew up with a stepfather and didn't have the nicest childhood with my mom. Lots of A word, ABU, neglect and really toxic ideals is what I learned growing up regarding relationships. And due to this, I put myself in really unfortunate situations during my 20s. I had to grow up really fast being a child of immigrants, but also due to the mistakes I made. When I was 19, I got engaged and moved in with my very first boyfriend ever. Lived with him for 4 years, but I never truly felt in love. He was an amazing man, and I know that he really loved me and treated me well, but every single night I would cry secretly. I felt like I was drowning. I hated being intimately with him and lacked the maturity and guidance to address that sort of issue. I was a virgin when we met. We eventually broke up, and even though he was a good man, I don't regret it and felt really happy to find out he's getting married now. I know that he was just not for me. After him, I went through some years of experimentation. I never cheated on him, but I rebelled and gave into the hookup culture, which of course also made me miserable. I was always a good girl who worked, went to college, and got wifed up. So young, I never really got to enjoy my childhood and wanted to party. During this phase, I met my son's father, who is 12 years older than me and he had never been married and didn't have children. We started to date. He introduces me to his family, and shortly after, I irresponsibly become pregnant at 26. He said he never wanted to have kids and expected me to have, and although I wasn't Christian at this time, I have always been against, and I decided to keep my baby and face my irresponsibility. During the pregnancy, it was really difficult. He cheated, beat me, his true colors started to come out, and he verbally me and created a lot of insecurities within me. He introduced me to drugs, and I had to overcome a nasty drug addiction because of his influence. He liked smoking pot all day. By the grace of God, I can now say I am fully sober after a year and a half and focusing solely on motherhood. I survived, and eventually, when the baby was 1 month, he bounced. He is still a part of our life, very minimally, but I have learned a lot these past few years and finally understood that he is who love bombed me when we first met, and I learned how to set boundaries against him. My son was diagnosed with autism 2 years ago, and I think that is when my spiritual awakening began, which eventually led me to the truth, which is in Christ. My question and guidance that I seek isn't regarding my baby daddy. I just wanted to give you the backstory. My real issue is with a man I met in the summer of 2019. I don't want to get back together with him, and I have been going through a period of sanctification for the last year and a half where I have remained abstinent and have really come to appreciate my season of singleness. Some days I even prefer it. I know what I am looking for now. I am very active in my church, and I am chasing purpose. I know eventually God will send me a godly man that is willing to wait and walk the Christian walk by my side. The problem is I can't forget about this man I only dated for 4 months, who left such an impact on me and sort of sparked the chain of events that led me to wake up and see life completely differently. That man made me feel more and made me look into myself and do self-reflection more than any of my longer-term relationships or anyone I'd ever met before. Even though I had those few wild years of hookups, none of mine were ever a one-night stand. I'm not really that kind of girl. It would always develop into some sort of emotional bond, even if I didn't want anything serious, and the men in my life have always stayed friends with me or wanted to sort of come back, with the exception of my ex-fiance, because, well, he's married now, and that would be disrespectful. This man, however, that I met in 2019 blocked me everywhere, and with good reason. but I just have never experienced something like this before. I think about him all the time. I often want to pray for him on his behalf, hoping he is doing well. God keeps giving me dreams and visions with him in it. It's been a lonely road, but we have zero contact. I even changed my number and I have no social media. I'm in that season of truly seeking God with no distractions. This is how the relationship started. This man is also 12 years older than me. He was 40 and I was 28 when we met a little over 2 years ago in the spring. We met on social media. During this time, my son was only 1.5 years and I was fully single. But because I was not a godly woman, I was dating carelessly and smoking a lot of pot. I wasn't a party girl by any means and didn't really leave my baby to go out. He was still my priority, but I was mostly using pot to self-medicate really bad anxiety. Most of the time I was home. I had a group of friends that I grew up with since middle school. I grew up in real ghetto neighborhood, in the hood basically, and was just really starting to have an existential crisis and questioning my entire life. I felt like I was on a loop, like I went to college and saw myself suddenly back in my hometown with the same people who only smoke pot all day, with kids, single. It felt like I wanted to do better, like I wanted to self-reflect. When I initially met this man, who was also never married and no kids, I didn't take him seriously. I understood this was a red flag, but I had so much going on. I lied to myself and said, who cares? Not like I want anything serious. I think at the time, my self-esteem was so low, I didn't think I was worthy, so I didn't care to pursue anything serious. He approached me sometimes on social media and we would talk, but I was so busy with the baby and working full time, I didn't really pay him any mind. It took quite a few months of him just watching my stories, liking my pics, responding here and there before he caught my attention. I remember I even stood him up for a date once. It really wasn't on purpose. I was dealing with a lot at the time. I had moved back to the guest house in my parents' house and it was H for me. And I thought he would never speak to me again. I don't know why the first time I saw his pic on IG, the thought of he looks like my husband came to mind, and I immediately dismissed it because that's insane. Anyways, about 3 months passed, and one day I was having a really rough week. Lonely, just wanted an escape, and I randomly called him up. We spoke on the phone for like 3 days straight for a long time. And then I said, I want to meet you. There's no point in wasting endless hours talking if there's no chemistry. I was just really upfront. And imagine with a small baby, I didn't have time for BS. We had a normal first date on a Monday at 5 p.m. None of our dates were late at night because I always had my baby. I wasn't willing to leave him, and his dad would pick him up Mondays 12 noon to 8 p.m. It was legit the only free time I had to date this man. Once a week only. He knew enough about me as a mother to understand he wasn't going to meet my child anytime soon. I am really careful when it comes to my son. He has never met any man ever, thankfully. It's bad enough his dad and I aren't together. I don't want him to experience the H I did growing up. So anyways, our first date, I remember meeting him and right away feeling sparks that he was the one, but nothing happened, not even a kiss, just an awkward hug. I could tell he was nervous, and I think he was not used to a woman being so upfront and kind of aggressive, which I was at the time. Not in a coming on to him way, but in a I am confident, know what I want way. He is really tall and handsome. He's from the Bronx and Puerto Rican. So since we had similar backgrounds, we had things in common. He had managed to get himself a college education and leave the hood just like me. We always had a lot to talk about. We kept on talking on the phone almost every night. Then we started to see each other on a weekly basis. Every single Monday. Unlike other men, he never pressured me, never judged me for being a single mom, never made me choose between him and my son, and even applauded me for having my baby when most of the time I felt like I had a big scarlet letter on my forehead. He really told me some deep stuff about himself and me as well. And eventually we started seeing each other every other Saturday for a few hours during the day, always. He would go to lunch. We would go to lunch sometimes by his job when I had a small break. And the only time we went out at night, my mom watched the baby and we went to the movies with my little brother, who he agreed to meet. The thing is, I made so many mistakes with this guy. First of all, we had sex way too soon. I would say about 4 dates in, which meant 4 weeks after initial meetup. Even though we were talking at night on the phone, this isn't something I would ever do today. But back at that time, I never really took him seriously. I thought this was just going to be another situationship and didn't think I could fall in love, which is why I see now why situationships are so dangerous. What ended up happening was that the sex ended up being extremely amazing. And by amazing, I am talking spiritual sex. I literally think I had my first spiritual experience while having with him. Up to that point, I had only had sex, but with him, I felt intimacy. We both did things we had never done before, and I gave him parts of me I'd never given anyone. He also had a complicated relationship with weed, and yes, sometimes we had sex high. But when we started to really like each other, we decided not to, and it was just as good. I had sex high before with my son's father, so I know this elevated feeling wasn't cause of the drug. There was more. That's when I really started to wake up spiritually. Him and I never got to talk about it, but I could sense his connection to God. I just can't explain it. The problem is the devil took whatever we had and really twisted it. I think looking back, now we both have addictive personalities, and he became both an idol in my life and an addiction. Because we couldn't see each other often, only a few times a week, of course we jump on each other any chance we could. I really never felt so desired in my life. At the same time, during those 4 months, so much happened. He taught me a different way. He taught me to take care of my health better. I was going through stuff and told him I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which turned out to be a misdiagnosis, and I'm okay now, but living at my parents' at that time was really affecting me. I told him I had started taking medication for my anxiety, and he would tell me ways in which I could heal more holistically. I wouldn't try to keep my issues to myself because whatever I was going through, I didn't want to burden him with. I was going through stuff I didn't even really understand either. I deleted my social media, completely stopped talking to those crazy party friends I had, and just really wanted to change, and even stopped smoking weed, and it encouraged him to do the same. I think I misread the entire situation because around that time, all that was happening, he got a new job after being in his for 5 years. He's an accountant, and he started traveling a lot to Vegas and many different places. When he would travel, I'd always try to see him the day before he left, but I knew deep inside he wasn't being faithful. I would see it on his social media, and he was just free. He also told me he didn't want kids. I was falling deeply in love with this guy, but I knew that he wasn't the one for all the logical reasons, but I couldn't say no, and I guess he couldn't either. One day, we had lunch at his job, and he told me he wanted to take me on a real date at night that Saturday. I was really excited. After 4 months, this was going to be our first real date, and I got my mom to babysit, which he knows was rare. I was kind of upset because I wanted to take things to the next level and asked him if I could sleep over, and he told me no. He told me he had never lived with anyone in his life, and he doesn't want to until he got married. But I knew that his exes had slept over, so I felt insecure. I let a lot slide that I shouldn't have because I put myself in that situation. I understand that now. I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't stress because at the end of the day, I was just enjoying his company. I really wasn't trying to rush into anything. He told me to be ready by 6, and he said he was going to a football game with a friend and even texted me pics of his friend at the game. I prepared my baby and myself to make sure I was ready by 6 p.m. He doesn't text me until 8 p.m. The communication was horrible. It was both of our faults. I was waiting to see how far his disrespect would go, so I didn't text, And so when he texts me at 8 p.m., I'm home. I'm home. I thought, who do you think I am? An escort service? So I didn't respond and didn't show up. I know it was wrong. I should have at least said, well, I'm not going then. Well, after that, he never spoke to me again. He left on a business trip the next day, so I didn't want to stress him out. So I waited like 4 days till he got back and then called and texted him. I asked him if we could please talk about what happened and apologize. I asked why he didn't text me to tell me he was running late, that it was inconsiderate of him to keep me waiting, also because of my baby, and he just replied, I was drunk. Then I asked, do you have a wife or girlfriend you're hiding from me, that why you rarely call when you travel? And he immediately responds, no. Following the incident, I tried to move on and block him. I really knew logically this was all wrong, but it was consuming me. The devil got a hold of me for real. I have never felt this way about any time ever. I feel like I have no dignity how much I have chased this man. I know better now, though, and learned a lot. I am usually prideful, but this was a battle I couldn't do on my own. I waited about 2 weeks and then I called him and texted him. No response. I would see on WhatsApp that he saw my messages were read, and he would see them and no response. That's when I started going a little crazy, because I was calling him about every 2 days. Not repeatedly or anything, just once or twice. I'm crazy, but not that crazy, LOL. And left voicemails and nothing. He really was ghosting. I started to really panic. Eventually, after about a month of me trying to reach out and sending him long texts telling him how I felt, he finally blocked me everywhere. I would go a few days without reaching out because I was trying to be strong, but after about 5 to 6 days, I would reach out. This went on for a month. What followed for me was H. Talking about, well, the devil live. A week after he blocked me, my son was diagnosed with autism. I quit my job. My mom kicked me out. My baby daddy took me to court because he didn't want to pay child support. It was right before the P hit. C-19. I woke up. I got through those times and came out better. I even have my own business now and purchased my apartment. Things are way different than for the hard times I was dealing with while dating him. But believe me, it was tough. I missed him every day. I was heartbroken in every way you could think of, and all I could think about was him. I became extremely addicted to pot because when I smoked, I could have conversations with him that felt real. I guess looking back now, it was grief. I know it was only 4 months, but I've never had a spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional connection with a man before other than him. During the P, I made so many mistakes I regret now. I even wrote him a letter and mailed it to his house. And then my dumb self had the dumb idea that I was going to find out no matter what why he ghosted and how he felt about me. So I created a fake profile with a hot girl and started talking to him on Insta. I know what he likes, so it wasn't hard. From what I saw, after broke up, he spent a good 2 months really quiet on social media. Next thing I know, January 1st, he was on vacation in Tulum with an IG influencer girl and a huge group of her friends. She is way younger than me, like 23 to 24 or something. And she is gorgeous, from Canada. I was devastated. Since I stalked, I realized he must have met her on one of his trips because she looks like she travels a lot and saw she was in Vegas around the time he was. I also discovered he was liking her pics even while we were dating, which means he met her while we were dating. I was so jealous, but I also felt like it wasn't serious because she seemed like a party girl, and anytime I saw them together, it wasn't them alone. It was like a whole squad of people. Fast forward to me catfishing him, and we start talking, and somehow I get him to talk about his exes, and I start making up one of my own. And he brought me up. He said, the last girl I dated was Cuban and crazy. I said, how was she crazy? And he says she was legit bipolar on meds and all. I felt incredibly hurt. Then I said, oh, so you cut it off with her? And he says, no, I kept it going for a few months because not to seem inappropriate, but the sex was crazy as well. That's why I held on for a bit. Then he said she was really sweet, but her mood swings were just too much for me to handle. After that, I decided and understood that yes, I had a lot of faults and really wanted to work on myself, but still I couldn't forget him. Fast forward a whole year later after the breakup, and I decided to text him on his birthday, not expecting a response because he had ignored me so long I thought I was blocked. I was starting to discover Jesus and had begun Bible study. It was more of a putting it out there text. To my surprise, he responded and started speaking to me. I couldn't believe what he was telling me. He said he started going to church and wanted to go back to tradition, that he had found his way back to Jesus. I was shook because why was I going through the same thing? We start catching up, but that was about it. What also called my attention is that during the 1 year separation, I moved to another county, trying to get away from home and the hood, trying to raise my son in the suburbs, which he knew was always my plan. His apartment, however, is way down south. And suddenly he tells me he started going to church 10 minutes away from my house now. I'm in the county up north. I was like, what are you doing driving up here so far on Sundays? And he says it's where God sent him after C-19. Of course, me being a dumb girl, start taking this as a sign from God when it wasn't. He doesn't text me again for days after that. And what happens next was me completely messing the entire thing up. I wanted to see if he was really serious about God and also probably wanted attention. So I texted him asking if he wanted to start hooking up again. He tells me he can't have casual sex with me because that wasn't the Christian thing to do. I asked him straight up to tell me the truth if sex was the only reason he kept things going with me last time, and he replied, yes, that's it. And that was our last interaction. I was devastated, but in the end, it brought me closer to God, and I have not felt any urge to text him ever again, nor will I, because I am strong in Christ now. But I feel like I carry him with me. But I still feel like I carry him with me. I get hit on a lot and have had many offers. No one has ever come close to him. I feel so discouraged. Like I really don't want to settle for anything less. I have prayed about this situation for years now. I want to understand why God is putting this love and desire in my heart, but not his. Thank you. Regards. She put her name. I'm sorry this message is so long. I have watched your videos and they have really helped me. Here's a photo of me for reference, hoping to gain a godly man's perspective. Yeah, that was long. Send my cash out. Send my cash out. My goodness. I'm at the 30-minute mark. That email was 26 minutes long. But you know what though? She put all the details in there, but it still ain't that detailed though. It's just this right here should be the email read when somebody asks, what is a soul tie? This email should be read, because that's all it is. That is all it is. That's all it is. Now, the other thing of why this happened is because they talked for hours on the phone. Days and days and days and days. So then they meet up, and then you go on a date. It's on Monday nights. She being forward. She trying to be something she not. You know, being forward, being tough. And then he put on a bike. 4 weeks in. So at that point, all respect was lost. Because when a man could sleep with a woman inside of 3 months, he gonna look at you side-eyed. When he could sleep with you inside of 6 months, he gonna look at you side-eyed. It just not, you know, because this is the thing. If it take him 6 months to sleep with you, that means you can average 2 men a year. And so if you average 2 men a year, you average 2 men, you sleep with 2 men in that year. Well, if let's say the first man was 9 months, and then you go the next man, then that next year, by March, you sleeping with the guy, and then by September, you sleep with a guy. So you could get 2 men in a year if you make a man wait 6 months. So now, if you 18 years old and you start doing this, by the time you 30, at 2 men a year, now that's 12 years. 12 times 2 is 24. 24 men. And now a man is going to assume that you had a hookup period in your life, which she went and did. But when she did that, she didn't say how many men. So what happened is, and now the look she have, so she looked like a white woman, but, you know, from Cuba. She got the good eyebrows, you know, the thick eyebrows. Not thick as mine, but about almost the same. She got a thick eyebrow. She got green eyes, look like a real green, not hazel. They look green. And then she wearing her lashes, which is very rare, but it helped on the looks department. She got a normal little nose, you know, about like mine, little different shape, but about almost the same. Her lips is almost about shape, about like my lips, just smaller. The bottom lip probably, the bottom part of my bottom lip will be cut off. So that's where you can see the black in her. Because her nose is like a black person nose. Because, you know, Cubans be all kind of stuff in their water. And then hairstyle, she got black hair. And she got long hair, but she got it layered. So this right here come to here, and it got a little swoop. It looked expensive. And then it got more that come down and go out. Could be extensions, because women with this kind of hair get extensions too. But, so, and then she got nails, and her nails is pink, and they match her lipstick, which is pink. And then her shirt is like it's like a tan color, but it's the kind of shirt that it's almost like it's body fitting, but it got it don't have sleeves. So it's just the body fitting shirt, you know, with the little lines in it, you know, not color lines. And then it got the collar, not a collar, but it got like this right here. And so you could see that. And now that hair come real long, because that hair come down here. The hair come beneath her chest area and got little swirls in it. The hair looked too good and healthy to be real hair. So if that's real hair, that's just, yeah, she dropping that baby off a little more often than she's saying. Because this hair here is up to date. I really don't think I done seen no hair this healthy. This here got to be some Indian Remy. some Yankee. And then the nail, these some classic nails because you could wipe. But they got a little point, but it's not the sharp point. It's kind of like a rounded point. And they only about this long. They only about that long. So it ain't, a real nail could grow that long and still be in good shape. It's only about that long. It ain't the long ones like this here. And just from a male perspective, when y'all get them long nails, it's honestly nasty. It just looked like poor hygiene because what is you doing? You got to wipe like this. So when you got that nail this long, how is you wiping? You ain't getting all the way in. Sun getting left. So I guess you trying to go shower it out, but nah, got boo-boo going down the shower. Cause you ain't getting no good wipe. And then if you do this right here, you're gonna be to cut yourself in there and you're gonna get an infection. So you need to have functional nails because them long nails look uncleanly. And it looked like a Jezebel spirit. I'm just telling y'all now. I'm being honest with you because like a brother. A man who trying to date you ain't gonna tell you how it look. So don't get mad with me now. I'm just trying to help you. Now do what you want to do. You ain't got to argue with me. Don't argue with me in the comments either. I'm gonna block you. You ain't got to argue with me. I'm just giving you a healthy male perspective. So now, when she said what she said about having this period where she went through this, I could see it in her eyes. Because the eyes is a window to the soul. And I could see the spirit on her. And now she looked like a model. She looked like an Instagram model. She looked like and you know how they all look in the sense of, now her is a natural look though. She don't got fake eyelashes. Her lips, if she got a filler, she got it done very natural. So what she doing with her lips is what you're supposed to do. She overdrawing the lipstick. So she got a little extra lipstick on the bottom of that lip and a little extra on the top. So she overdrawing her lips. So it's giving her a more fuller look without having to go get all that filler put in there. So now aesthetically, is that a seatbelt? That's probably a seatbelt. Yeah, that's a seatbelt. So to take the picture, she tucked the seatbelt up under that left chest. And now the chest, the way it's sitting up, could be augmented. If that's real, then okay, that's a blessing my family get home. All right, God bless you. So now it looked like her face and the way her arm, and typically if a woman wear a shirt with her arm out, now on her shoulder she got little brown freckles. So that's in the mix. Now she could have freckles on her nose and up here and just up under the makeup, but she don't wear cake on makeup. She don't have on a lot of makeup. So now, I don't like to rate people, but based on society standards and she would be at least, they would say an 8. They would say at least an 8. Now that's universal. That's universal because looks could be universal. Now the man for her might say she a 10. So I'm biased because, personally I look for a little melanin. She don't have no melanin. That don't mean she unattractive. It's just preference. So now melanated, then there could be a 10 for a man who like melanin. Now, without the melanin, God bless you. God bless you. That don't mean nothing. It's just, preference. So I say that to say her look and the way she do everything kind of right down the middle, like modest, but a little pop. Modest with a little pop. She really could have any man she want to. She really could have any man she want to. The reason why she don't got this man is because it do get better in the looks department, meaning it's a whole lot of looks. So based on preferences, a man could think another look looks better. That don't take away from her being a pretty woman, but based on preferences, a grown boy could say, oh, this other woman look better. And then based on the fact that she had low self-esteem. Low self-esteem and a lack of confidence is very, very unattractive. It's very unattractive. You know, my wife has never yelled at me. She's never begged me. She's never cried to me. My wife cried to me one time. I don't know what that was about. I feel like she had something else going on when we were dating real young and got into a little riff, and she cried when we met up to talk about it. I think it was just because I act like I ain't care, like I didn't chase her or do nothing like that. And that thing just sent her into a tizzy because I think she thought I was going to chase her and beg her. And I just like, all right, go on about your business because I ain't do nothing. And she cried that time. But other than that, my wife ain't cried. And so with what she was describing, with how you were describing writing them on WhatsApp all the time and kept writing them, that right there made you look crazy. And that's why he described you like that. I also believe that he could have known he was talking to you because he was telling a little too much. And when he told the catfish woman about how the bedroom, he was telling a little too much, and that made me think right there, because a man not gonna do that. A man not gonna tell another woman who, like you said, you got this woman picture who was beautiful. A man not gonna tell no beautiful woman about this other woman in the bedroom. So I think, and if he would do that genuinely, then he's not that good of a guy. He a dog. He trash. But a man ain't gonna tell a woman that he attracted to about another woman in the bedroom. Not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. And he old as dirt too. Old as Methuselah. Cause I thought you said you was 28 and he was 40. Yeah, he too old. This letter too long for me to go back and find stuff. And the font is this big. This is the smallest font somebody could write in. And it is 26 minutes long. So I can't even, you know how normally I go to the letter and I try to reference and I read through line for line. This here just too much. I can't even do it. And now, let me get back to this part right here. Sister, let me tell you something. Don't go to calling your sex spiritual now. And don't go to thinking that have anything to do with God. Y'all's on that weed. The way you sounding, you got me about to smoke. I'm like, do me and my wife need to start smoking? I'm like, we might need to start smoking. Getting high. My goodness. The way y'all was in that thing from chandeliers. And now you said you gave him parts of your body that you never gave a man. Now, it ain't many parts of the body that you could give. So what that let me know, right there, you went and let him enter in the exit. Went to doing a little fudge packing. You're nasty. You're nasty. That's nasty. You need to talk to the doctor. Make sure you're all right. Make sure everything all right. Cause now every time you got number 2, it just sliding out there. It ain't having no resistance. You just walking around just whistling. Walking through the mall just whistling. Everybody like, why she got that? Sound like a Hemi charger. Nasty. And then he went to doing stuff. So yeah, y'all just were having y'all a blast. I mean, y'all just, my goodness. My God. And see how these spirits transfer. And let's rebuke these spirits in the name of Jesus. Let's rebuke these spirits in the name of Jesus. Do not go back to your soul tie. Everybody, if you watching this and you done had a meat leg put on you like this right here before, and now you dreaming of it, you thinking about it, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Cause see, that's the thing with this thing, why I be getting so heavy, why I be having to take breaks, because this spiritual, this right here is spiritual. So this sister right here, she got a Jezebel spirit on her, that she trying to get closer to God, that God trying to get off of her, but I can see in this picture it's still on her. It's still on her now. It just, but see, I just could read stuff like that. Nah, and sister, ain't nothing you gonna be able to do. You could dress the same, look the same. It just got to come up at you. The more you read your Bible, the more you pray, the more you go to church, the more you abstain. And I'm gonna tell you what you might need to do too is you might need to switch your style up. So instead of this type of shirt right here, wear your cute t-shirt. Wear your t-shirt instead of this here bodycon type of shirt that gonna hug that chest like that, have that chest perked up. Wear your t-shirt. It could be a nice little t-shirt. And when you're not in t-shirt, wear you some hoodies. They could be nice. They could be cute. They could be Morant, Isabel Morant, if your money there. If not, in that style. The t-shirt could be like the Celine type t-shirt. You know, the shirt that just say Celine across it. It could be in that style. It don't have to be a Celine shirt. I'm just speaking of the brands my wife wear. But it could be in that style. So that way it's classy, it's cute, but it's not seductive. Cause this is gonna help you get over this here Jezebel spirit faster. Cause you went out there putting that thing on these men. And you went out there through your little season, your little hookup culture, what you was in. And then you was out there smoking that weed. And this is the thing. Now, I'm going to tell you. Okay, imagine you watching a movie. Like a rom-com, romantic comedy. On the romantic comedies, on Netflix, the woman in the romantic comedy, this what she looked like. She looked like the lead actress in a rom-com. I cannot believe I'm saying rom-com. That's what y'all call it though. Top 10 romantic comedies. And then I'm going to hit images. Some of these women looking older than her. Jennifer Lopez was in The Wedding Planner. Almost close to that. Not like Jennifer Lopez as far as Jennifer a little darker, but with black hair. Similar type of feel you'll get. A country romance. This ain't no top 10. Oh, people. She looked like the lead actress in a rom-com. But ironically, actresses not that attractive. So let me see. This almost kind of close. So it's a rom-com called Me Before You. Me Before You. The woman on the cover is a side angle. That's Amelia Clark. That's who she'll be closer to. Now, Amelia Clark probably don't have green eyes though. So she'll be, oh, Amelia got blonde hair in this Marvel movie. Oh, Amelia serving looks now. Amelia say she trying to stunt on somebody now. So if we had to do a celebrity comparison, I'll say Amelia Clark, but with green eyes. I can't see Amelia Clark on. Oh, if I click images, well, she kind of got, she got green eyes too. Amelia Clark, they nose is almost identical. They lips almost identical. They eyebrow is the same thickness. This sister got black hair. This look like brown hair Amelia got in here. Now, she younger than Amelia Clark. But yeah, Sister, you might need to go with that blonde, because when Amelia put that blonde on, oh, no, that dark hair, fine. Now, hold on now. Jason Momoa's wife and Amelia Clark. Oh, okay. He was taking a picture with them. That's who she'll look like. About like Amelia, Emilia Clark with an E at the end. And so right there, that lets you know that's a universal look. Black man will like the look, white man will like the look, Hispanic man will like the look, Samoan man will like the look, Asian man will like the look. It's racially ambiguous. It's one of them looks that you got 10% black, you got 10% Asian. You know, you got a bunch of percentages in there. It's one of them looks because green eyes, not blue eyes. See, white people, we typically although it come in many different looks, but the stereotypical, they say blonde hair, blue eyes. This right here, dark hair, green eyes. And do you know, she said that the man she was dealing with is a Puerto Rican. Do you know, when I was a matchmaker, I dealt with one of my male clients was a Puerto Rican, and he wanted a woman with this color skin. This color skin is the kind of skin to where when you Google Amelia Clark and you click on images, for me, the third images is from this website, npr.org. The picture have a little yellowish tint to it. So you know how you have some people that's white that have like a pale, almost like a ghostly look. And then you have some that's like a more of a yellowy look, but not like a tan. Not like been sitting in the sun or going to the tanning bed, but just the natural look, got just a little tint to it. That's what the guy wanted. He was Puerto Rican and Italian. And he wanted dark hair, green eyes. He was 6'6" now, muscular, you know, built like a Greek sculpture. And that's what he described. Now his thing was he wanted an accent too. So, oh, she cute, she might have an accent. And so, and at this time he was around his mid-20s though. He was around 26 or so. He was a millionaire though, millionaire. So I used to do millionaire matchmaking. Yeah, I was out there. I was the real deal though, not like the lady on TV. I knew what I was doing. You get me? And so, it was a pretty penny you had to pay now. I don't do matchmaking no more, cause I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't know how to tell people, listen, the look God gave you, listen. And I refuse to be like the men in the dark. So I can't do y'all like that. So I just, can't do it like that. But so yeah, sister, listen. This right here, it's just so much. I'm trying to decompress and just take this all in, because it's saying so much to me, because it's really sad. It's sad that you could take care of yourself, you can keep up with yourself, but it's crazy how Kanye said this. The people highest up got the lowest self-esteem, and the prettiest people do the ugliest things. So this look would be the look that a man would say, oh, she classy, she a virgin, or she abstinent, or she got like 2 or 3 partners. You don't see this look and say, oh, she had a hookup season, and oh, she getting wild in that bedroom. A man might assume, but it just, she put together. And see, this what I try to tell y'all is that, and Lord forgive me now, sister, and I'm not picking on you, but this is what the devil wears Prada. So this why I try to help men understand. It's a lot of times the women who don't have that ideal body, the body that the media is portraying and pushing on us, who has reserved herself more than the woman who got the ideal body and got the ideal looks. Because when you have the ideal body and you have the ideal looks, you under attack more men coming at you. So this sister here ain't had to fight a day in her life to get no man, to get no attention from no man. Men, and that was what she said. She ain't had no hard time getting men. Men jump out of the woodworks at her. And then she is with the hypergamy. Because she going for men, I know it's hypergamy. She going for men older than her. 2 times in a row, men 12 years older than her. And so they taking and they picking a woman who younger. When a man pick a woman 12 years older, 9 out of 10 times he's a dog. 9 out of 10 times. Because a woman that's more than 10 years younger than a man, it's not attractive. It's not attractive. I'll be 38 on March 8th. Send me a cash out. I'll be 38 on March 8th. And a 26-year-old woman, although she might look pretty, although she may be physically attractive, that's not spiritually, emotionally, or mentally attractive. That's little sis. What's going on, little sis? Sis, what's going on with you? That's little sis. That's not attractive to a real man. So anytime a man want a woman, and there's exceptions to the rules. I have to say there's exceptions to the rules, but not really. And I say that because a lot of men that I know closely, that I hang with, that I know family, friends, got women way younger. I hate to be stepping on their toes, but they all do got their fair share of issues. But they, for the most part, good guys. They good guys. But me, I don't trust it. I don't trust it, and I would not recommend it. There are exceptions to the rule. Again, I said, there are exceptions to the rule. Are you the exception to the rule? Not the lady right now. I'm talking about you who watching it. No, you're not. Just assume you're not the exception to the rule. Just assume you're not the exception to the rule to save yourself some trouble, okay? Just stay out the way, all right? So now, listen to me. This right here, what can we learn from this? 1, do not sleep with a man inside of 6 months. Okay? And she wasn't really saved then, she wasn't living right. But even if you are atheist and you don't believe God, or you're not Christian, don't sleep with a man inside of 6 months. If you can't make it 6 months, then you need to go get plugged up. Get you some stitches or somewhere. Don't sleep with a man inside of 6 months. The second thing is don't date a man that's 10 years older, 10 or more years older than you. Don't date a man 10 or more years older than you. The third thing is do not give your body in all kind of ways and doing the absolute most with a man that's not your husband. Save husband benefits for husbands. Save husband sex for husbands. Do not give a boyfriend or a hookup or a situationship husband sex. Say that. The fourth lesson is never chase a man. Never chase a man. Always let a man call you, pursue you. Never chase a man. The fifth lesson is do not play mind games. She tried to play a mind game. You do not want to play a mind game with a man. It is way too many women in the world for a woman to play a mind game with a man. The man said be ready by 6. He wrote her at 8. She knew he was going to a game. What she should have did is been ready by 7 and let him be mad. A man understand a woman take a long time to get ready. So had she taken her time and not got ready and been ready on time like a puppy dog, then she wouldn't have been as mad, because she wouldn't have been sitting there with a face full of makeup and lipstick for 2 hours. And so when he texts at 8, she got an attitude. Listen, don't play mind games. Instead of ignoring the man, what she should have did is, and she realized this later and she admitted to that, what she should have did is check the man. Hey, I've been sitting here for 2 hours. What happened? Got that explanation, then put that on the meter, the bullcrap meter, to see how she felt about it. But she went into mind game, which really just was playing herself, because what now you losing. Whereas still at 8, you could have still stepped out at least for a couple hours or even an hour. But now you got to sit there giving a silent treatment, trying to be tough, trying to send a message, wiping off all this makeup. And then got to get in the shower, get the perfume off of you, but you didn't shower. I already know it. So now you go through that right there. Car dealer calling me. I was looking at a new car today. Ooh, that thing got my budget. You hear me? No, y'all gotta keep that. Ooh. Man, listen. Absolutely not. Y'all crazy. I say that, then I'll be driving off the lot tomorrow on my birthday. Where my son? Oh, my son got the soccer banquet. I do not want to go to the banquet. Sitting up on raggedy awards. But it's like, I need to go, so he got a daddy in the home. Raggedy. Lord forgive him. He a freshman, and he start on the varsity team, so you not finna get no awards. So we finna be sitting there, gotta hear all this crying, all this mushy stuff, all these speeches. But my wife might not even want me to go. She might not even want to make me go. I don't even know where she going. But I sure like going to the bank and get that meal in. Ooh, that baked chicken. Tan it up. Get an old free meal in. So listen, y'all forgive me. But I have to go off on tangents like this. If you knew, God bless you. If you're mad by the Kid Rocks with open toe sandals on. But just to keep my sanity, I got to be able to address, just go off on little tangents and stuff. So listen to me. Rewind and get those lessons that I just gave you. I think we was on number 5 of don't play mind games. Maybe that was number 5. So she played a mind game, and when you play mind games, everybody loses. She played a mind game and she played herself. And ain't this how it always happen? When somebody give us they butt to kiss, we want to chase them. The person who cares the least has the most power. The person who shows they care the least has the most power. And that's one thing that my wife has done right. Out of the million things she's done right, one of the things she has done right is she has never chased me. She's never chased me. She stand her ground. She don't let me see her sweat. She don't sit there and cry. She don't chase. She don't beg. If she in the wrong, she'll apologize. If she in the wrong, she will apologize. And that take a lot coming from her, because I know how her personality is. But sister, you played yourself. And then here's the thing. Now, could he yes, he was talking to somebody, how you spending time, and you was like, he didn't trip. He met up with me at the time that he could around my child. He didn't care because he got many women to go around. And then when he started to give you that cold shoulders because other women stealing his attention, he meeting new women. So when you're out here living this life and you doing what he doing, it's like if he could find a woman who look just as good as you and she don't have kids, it make it that much easier, because now he don't have to be a bonus dad or a stepdad. Now he don't have to worry about, getting to know no child. So it makes it easier for him. And so he looking around. For him to be 40 and still single and still bouncing around looking, that's a red flag in itself, but it does happen. But you got to be mindful of that. And so he put you on ice, and that sent you into a tizzy, and you just went to just losing it. You just went to spiraling. And then you self-diagnosing, you misdiagnosing, you going to doctor diagnosing. What had you going off them rails is all that green leaf you were smoking. You smoking all that green leaf. You might have got laced one time. Smoking that green leaf had you losing your mind. See that? So everybody who's smoking weed, y'all see how people try to act like they're trying to make it like it's innocent. And throughout this letter, she kept mentioning to the pothead culture and how people just basically like zombies just smoking. That lets you know that this stuff ain't good for you. I used to sell it. And I never smoked it though, because I already knew it's a setup. It is a setup. So whatever you got to do to come on off of it, and being that it ain't considered a hard drug, then you should be able to break it. You should be able to come on off of it so you can get your wits about you. So sister, you're doing better now. And this is the thing. And I'm gonna tell you another thing, one more thing. Lesson number 6. Do not reach out to somebody that you done already cut off, that done gave you their butt to kiss, that done did you wrong, that done blocked you on everything. Do not ever reach out again. Lesson number 7, do not play with God. You playing with God, because you are here talking about you with the Lord and you a Christian and you serving God, but then you reach back out to this man. And then you reach out to him and then you go to be a temptress. You being a temptress. That's what Jezebels do, sister. This man tell you he living for God, and then you say, do you want to start sleeping together again? That's being a temptress. That's not of God. That is of Satan. And this man told you he a Christian and he trying to live right and do the right thing. Now, come on now. Come on now. So you playing with God. So I'm going to tell you what. You gonna go through some stuff you be playing with God. Now you say you ain't got the urge to text him or reach out to him, but we're going to see a year from now. And you saying you wonder why God give you these feelings. God ain't give you these feelings. That's the devil give you these feelings. God is a God of decency and order. God is not the author of confusion. You feeling confused and all of that. You say, I want to understand why God is putting this love and desire in my heart. God ain't putting no love and desire in your heart. That's lust. That's lust and a soul tie in your heart. That ain't got nothing to do with God. That is not of God. So what you need to start doing is reading your Bible every day. You need to read that Bible every day so you can learn the attributes of God. And you're going to realize God ain't got nothing to do with what you're going through right here. God ain't finna give you no head case of a man that got you chasing him and going off and doing all this stuff. God going to send you a man that's going to give you peace. That's going to come correct. That's what God going to do. So listen to me. Understand that right there now. Hey, I'm tired. I'm up here, man, over an hour long. Hey, God bless. Y'all got to forgive me. But this letter just was so long, it was too much for me to go back through line by line, and it's pretty clear cut. That's what happened when you live in your life. You're gonna meet somebody that if you done talk to them, and now what I'm gonna say too, this is confirmation for the people who you abstaining and you dating, but you with somebody. This how amazing that love making gonna be, because you making love to the mind. So you getting to know each other. So what made this so amazing for them is they weren't just hooking up. They talked to each other for hours and hours and hours. And then they got in that bed 4 weeks in. And so when they got in that bed, after having so many conversations, the mind was so ready. The largest sexual organ is the mind. So when you meet somebody and you just hop into the bed, even if it's not a one night stand, meaning y'all keep talking, it was y'all got in the bed before y'all had built the relationship, built the rapport, really got to know each other, really conversed and communicated and got the mind ready. So when you get the mind ready, that's when it go off like this right here. So that is proof of what abstinence can do. When you abstain and you really get to know the person and you fall in love with the person and you making love to one another's mind, then when you come together physically, it's the icing and the cherry on top. But that conversation, that communication, that foundation of friendship, meaning honest, open communication, not friendship meaning y'all just friends with benefits. No, y'all are an item, y'all exclusive. When you have that in there, that's when you getting ready and it's going to be the right thing. So, hey, So continue abstaining. And if you're dating, you're in a relationship, continue abstaining, but continue falling in love and getting to know each other on a real level. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. God bless you. We'll talk soon. Oh, remember, the coupon code is BIG38. This celebrating for my birthday. And so sometimes you send me a cash out, but honestly, I'd rather you get something in return for that. And so if you get a course, now you getting something that's going to help you, that's going to benefit you. So do not, like when you click buy, it's going to open up. It's going to, no, on the checkout page, it's one page. Up under the price, you're going to see where it say coupon. Click on coupon, put in BIG38, and then click apply. It'll be right up under it or right above it. Click apply, and then you're going to see the price change, almost 40% off. And then when you see that price, then you hit confirm purchase, okay? Take your time on it. Don't rush through it. And if you get on there and you forget about it, you got to just change your mindset and say, wow, I am so blessed that I got a 40% off coupon code and forgot to put it in that fast. Lord, I thank you for bringing me to this point to where I can forget 40% off. Lord, I thank you, and bless somebody else who need that 40% off. See, you got to just shift your mindset. That's what you got to do. Don't write B. Don't write B. Shift your mindset. Okay? Hey, thank you. God bless you. Shout out to the moderator, to the Blessed Tribe, Blessed Business Tribe, and to the Patreon. For those y'all over there on the Patreon, I appreciate you. Just helping me get ready. We working on a couple of productions. Actually, I got to book something here soon, a little spot, and we gonna go on and get on in there. So, hey, God bless you. We'll talk soon.